Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to today's edition of the afternoon edition. My name is Isa Nu. Today we shall be focusing on the grand ABU Alumni Lecture Dinner and Award Night, which will be taking place later in the day. And definitely, so many Nigerians have heard of this particular program, and the attention it has drawn so far is because of the categories or the types of persons who have actually graduated and are now alumni of the university. And there are so many issues with regarding to how alumni, after graduating, help in development of our institutions. For many of us who understand the roles that alumni play in making sure that, yes, the system works effectively, basically they play a major role in terms of supporting academic activities and also putting up major infrastructure that can help in fine-tuning the best set of persons that will graduate from an institution. And today we are focusing on the ABU Alumni Dinner and Award Night. It's an event where we have galas of persons, personalities, former governors, present governors, senators, speakers, and even the former secretary to the government of the federation. So many caliber of persons will be in that event today to grace that occasion and also put more light on major issues in the country. So basically today we'll be focusing on this particular issue, but then our focus will be for the president of the alumni, ABU alumni worldwide, to actually tell us more about this particular event. He's going to shed light on how the preparation is, what they are doing currently, and then what's the future of the ABU Alumni Association. So that's what we'll be discussing today, and we are having here in our studio the President General, or the President worldwide, in person of Malam Maman Adamu Kotangura, and the Barden Kotangura, who was here just a few days back to shed more light on this particular issue. So for all that are listening this afternoon and are watching this afternoon, it is high time for you to also connect with your alumni association. That way you can be able to add one or two that can also help in the development of your institution, and not just even the resident where the institution resides. There are so many alumnus across that you can also make impact on them via your support. So we'll go on a very short break, and when we return, we have the lengthy time to discuss with Malam Maman Adamu Kotangura. So after the break.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come may be affected by the wisdom which we here display. if Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria. Independence for Nigeria in 1960 is imperative. But independence for Nigeria as a corporate entity is not enough. The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom. We must ensure that in an independent Nigeria, individual citizens throughout the land enjoy liberty, human dignity, and equality under the law. There must be one Nigeria with one constitution and one law for all. Let us therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, close our ears to the counsel of despair, which says that we cannot here at this conference agree on a constitution. If there is any doubt among us as to what should be written into the constitution, let us, as Democrats that we profess ourselves to be, refer such problems, as the Gaulle has done recently, to the people whom we profess to represent, either just before or at the federal elections late in 1959. Among us, as to what should be written into the constitution, let us, as Democrats that we profess ourselves to be, refer such problems, as the Gaulle has done recently, to the people whom we profess to represent, either just before or at the federal elections late in 1959.
Welcome back from that mild break, and just before the break I did inform you that we'll be having the president worldwide of the Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association, in person of Malam Adamu Maman Kutangura, the Barden Kutangura, who is here in the studio. Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon edition.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
It's nice having you again in our studio to actually talk more about your program that you'll be holding today, later in the day at about 7 p.m.
My pleasure all the time.
Between now and the particular point where you were inaugurated, how have you seen the major changes during this period?
Yeah, I think when we came on board in the election we had in September 2023 and I emerged national president worldwide, what I tried to do differently is that before I came on board as the national president, I already tried to develop what I call an action plan, and which turns to be a blueprint of exactly what I want to do. And in leadership, before you come in as a leader, if you want to be successful and for people to see the manifestation of exactly what you want to achieve, you must have what you call your action plans, what you intend to do by looking at exactly the situations of where you are going. And I'm fortunate enough to at least understood exactly the concept of alumni associations in whatever capacity. So, and I have that arrangement and I have that package. So when I came, the first thing I tried to make it very clear is that the university and the alumni association are indispensable. They are major stakeholders that must work together. And in that direction, you need what you call a collaboration. So the first thing I struck in, or I moved in, is to have an understanding between myself and the university management and my own national executive committee. And within the shortest period, there is that understanding and there is that belief in the leadership. So the moment we get this kind of thing that we recorded, I think over 60% of the main issue is resolved and solved. And the next thing, you have to begin to see how we can implement the processes of what you call as your action plan. So these are some of the things that we try to do, and we came at the situations where in my early action plan there was a convocation, and I tried to look at it, and we developed our first action plan by having a convocation alumni magazine. And after trying to see what we can do together with the university, and ABU as it is so wonderful and marvelous, and I have perfect understanding with university management and the community itself. So it was easy for me, of course, and that is why there is that narration, changes in the narration of how it has been done before and what we are doing. And the university are confident enough in the leadership of what we are doing.
Oh, that's a very huge one. Indeed, that's a major support for you, being the president of the ABU alumni. But how do you think ABU's rich history and legacy have contributed to the success of its alumni base?
Yeah, the Alumni Association, certainly, just like what I said, is one of the major stakeholders. And it is even very clear and well known anywhere. Every institution that is as old as ABU, even not as old as ABU, must rely solely on their alumnus, the graduates, for a payback time. And that is why, like for example, if you look at the Western nations, when we are talking of the universities that are getting a very high ranking, and people are mentioning them, they will talk of Harvard, they will talk of Oxford. And, not that they are anything so special compared to a university like ABU as the rest of it, but however, their alumnus are supporting their universities well and firmly. And that is how it is. And even in the Ahmadu Bello University, that is the orientation, that is the pattern that we have been trying to continue with. We have been getting this kind of practice also, because we have our alumnus that they are doing much more better, and they are assisting the university. On records, they are there, and we have seen them. And ABU is a university that we know, by size and everything, whatever you are talking about, is the biggest in the entire side of the Sahara. And that is why we are coming up to see exactly how we can let the alumnus of the university understand this is a payback time to the alma mater. The university has given us so much. We have passed through, we have graduated. Wherever we are today, as I am sitting here talking to the entire world, the position I am is because of the knowledge and what we have acquired from the university. So university shaped us to this, and certainly we have to tell the people, and we have to try to see how we can talk to the alumnus that we are leading, collectively getting the support to come back and give a payback to the university.
It's been a while when ABU alumni body was able to put up a lecture of this nature that you are planning for today. And at some point there was a bit of lull. And there are so many students who are currently in Ahmadu Bello University who are also looking up to you, and then the alumni community, to see how they can also come in. What are your advice for them?
Yeah, when we came on board, just like what I told you, I have a role of action plans, and we are moving and successfully exhibiting them and looking at them as a scorecard. And so far, I think so good. This very event that we are holding tomorrow, today, 26th of November, at the Abuja Continental, that is the former Sheraton Atlanta Quali Hall. These are part of what I have in my action plan before I even come to be the national president, and we are having it today. So what we try to do is to ensure that the alumnus are joining us together. And just like what you asked, and other people that are graduating, I remember in the last convocation I inducted graduates about 25,483 just for a particular graduates of 2021 and 2022. And by orientation at that point, that's what we call START, student today, alumni tomorrow. The induction means we tell them that they are now graduates of the university, and they are all alumnus, and they belong to the alumni association, and they should be good ambassadors of the university wherever they found themselves. That is the statement we made at the convocation ground. And wherever they are, they should remember that the alma mater is there, and there should be a payback time at any given opportunity they have. And before us, It has been so and will continue to be on that. So that is exactly where we are today.
So in recent time, we've seen that ABU was recently ranked one of the best universities in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, even in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
How does the alumni community react to this particular achievement?
Yeah, actually, normally in any ranking assessment you are making, you need to come out and participate. Whatever you have and whatever you are doing, you have to participate in the competition. And if not, it's just like somebody who is excellently doing something in a room, in a dark room. He's the only person that knows what he's doing out inside. The person outside never knew. So there are a lot of questions when it comes to ranking that you have to respond to. So the university now attempt to come out and start responding to them. And that is why in the just concluded ranking, in terms of conventional universities in Nigeria, ABU was ranked first position. And after the whole thing, we celebrated it. The university were so happy about that. And in fact, in the last annual general assembly we had, the alumni associations and the university management sat down, and there is even a committee the university made, and with the involvement of the alumni association as well, to see how they can project the context of how this ranking are being prepared, particularly securing data that will be for the responding in terms of any questions as regards to those people ranking universities in that format, so that people can be responding to all those kind of things. And I believe we will continue to maintain and to lead, because ABU is one of the universities in Nigeria that have a kind of largest infrastructures to the standard that we can talk about. So the only thing, so many things we have, and they don't even have it elsewhere. So we need to fashion it, we need to show the world, and we need to, and that is where the present management of the university, headed by Professor Kabiru Bala, is trying extremely doing well to showcase this, and by understanding of this, and that is why they move in, and that is why we are at this position of the best overall by the ranking.
You mentioned Professor Kabiru Bala, who many of us know to be very, very interesting in terms of data management, and looking at the start of ABU from independent down to this particular point in time. ABU is as whole as Nigeria, many will say. But then, what do you think is the population of the alumni base? How many of us do you think?
Yeah, ABU, we have almost about 1 million alumnus graduated. And just like what I told you, by simple data of just 2021, 2022 graduates that we received for only that session, 25,483.
Invariably millions.
That is it. So you can imagine a year before that there was a combination of convocation, the graduates about almost 40,000. So you can see with this number, and ABU been established as far back as 1962. And if you look at what you call the regression equation of the projection of the graduates, it is increasing day by day. So we can look at this and make that pronouncement and say these are the numbers. And no doubt about that, there is no any contradiction. If you are listing, counting, but whatever name of data you may call it, ABU area, Ahmadu Bello University area, as we speak today in the entire West Africa, has the largest number of alumnus.
But as the value within them be vested so much.
Yeah, certainly values have been vested enough. The only thing we need to do more, because if you look at within the university itself, we are talking to the alumnus that graduated, and one thing that is very clear, I know, is certain, government itself as we speak can no longer provide enough funding for the requirements of what the university wants. And that is why the university now has to solicit and source for the alumnus to think out of the box, for the alumnus to please come and look at the situation where we are in. And I think in that regard, we have been getting a lot. Because I remember there was a time one of our alumnus that provided some ecological funds of over 800 billion naira to do a lot of things, and we have so many infrastructures that have been developed by the alumnus. If you look at in fact, there are hostels accommodations built by individuals, and these are kinds of contributions the alumnus are giving to the university. And the major issue we have today as we speak, part of the same funding that we are talking about that is not enough for government providing. ABU, as we speak, whatever the numbers of years you spend in ABU for whatever course you read, till you finish in that course, you will never know the entire part of the university. I studied BSc Pure and Applied Mathematics. Throughout the year I finished, there are certain areas in Samaru that I never knew until when I became part of the Alumni Association participating. We are going around, I discovered there are some big areas that I never knew. And as we speak now, when it comes to light, ABU, because of the infrastructure and the large extent of how they are paying 10 million naira every day for light, every day. 10 million naira. By today, from this morning to by evening, 10 million naira, that is the cost of the accumulated. And at the end of the month, you have over 300 billion naira. And the entire total of overhead cost given by government for the whole year is just about 240 to 250 billion, or the other about, which cannot even pay for 1 month electric bill for the university. So we have to think out of the box and begin to discuss with the alumni. And that is why in the last 4-5 weeks ago, the reunion group of the Alumni Association Law, they came in and assisted and provide solar arrangements for the Faculty of Law and this thing. And these are some of the things that we have been doing and the alumni are equally doing.
One critical aspect that is very, very important for many alumni of ABU is the issue of water. At some point, the students do complain that they have water. Is there any way your association, you being the leader, can come in to assist in this particular aspect?
No, certainly the university doing much, particularly, ABU is running about its own dam. Yeah. And that I know sometimes in the years back, the Alumni Association has helped greatly to provide water in Congo campus, through one of our alumni that provided such a project. And if you go to Congo campus from that period of time, I know there is no much problem of water as such. And in ABU is the same thing, the dam and whatever. I know there are some alumni that they are participating in dredging and trying to see how they can encourage for the water storage to be more than the way it is. But so far, I think so good. And these are some of the things, and that is why you see I know we may discuss that on today's event, and to ensure exactly these are some of the things that we want the entire world to know, and we want the alumni that we are gathering to equally understand exactly what we are trying to do. And these are some of the things that we want to project for people to participate and see how they can.
Okay, this is a very good one, because over time we know that yes, the President and Vice Chancellor Kabiru Bala is almost rounding up. And how does he feel that at this particular point that he's rounding up an event enormous as this is coming up?
Yeah, I think I am fortunate to say I came to be a national president under the leadership of Professor Kabiru Bala, who has been so much wonderful and he has been supporting indeed. And in fact, I remember when I fixed AGA sometimes in September, we are always discussing collaborating. Before I do anything, we sit down with the university and agree to be on the same page, because that is the excess. And I said, this is the date. He said, okay, fine. After about a week or the other about, he said, President, can we change this date because I'm traveling? I said, well, we have already fixed it and it has been announced. And that he traveled, of course. On the day of the event, he came back because he stopped whatever he was doing. He said he can't imagine this is really the last time that he will be the Vice Chancellor and he will not attend the AGA of the President that has been so much collaborating with the university. And I think that one I felt so amazed indeed for the kind of wonderful support that he is giving. And as we speak today, before I even came to the studio, we have been talking to him together on how the arrangement has been going on. We have been feeding him, talking to him on how it is, and he too is equally telling me how he is equally arranging it from the other side and coming down. So I think he's somebody who I can say the leadership and the support she provided is something that I must always live to remember. And certainly in whatever situations in life you are today, certainly there will be a time that at least you will. But I think confidently I can say in my relationship with him, to the best of my knowledge, in my own angle of the Alumni Association, I would say he has been so wonderful.
Indeed, he has a history of being fair to all.
Yes.
And that's a very good one. But then the topic for today's event is known as the role of Alumni Association in advancing university systems in Nigeria. What actually inspired you to pick this?
Yeah, I think when we bring this very event, I equally try to let people understand it's beyond dinner and award night, is beyond that. And there is a particular major context and concept of what we are trying to showcase today. And that is why the topic is so up in the way of it. So we are trying to make sure that, look, what will Alumni Association and the alumnus as members will do in order to help the school. And that is why we are bringing this. And that is why we try to ensure that I discussed with the university myself after I have gotten this date for the arrangement of this very event, and I said we have to have what you call like a project. What will be a priority project for the university, the one that we showcase. That is the main arrangement of this very event. It's beyond award and gala night. ABU, whether you award, there are eminent people, you don't need to come and celebrate and award. They are already known in their Excel type of field and the rest of it. But the only thing we need to formalize it or to make it a kind of as a ceremony, if that is how we call it, very wonderful arrangement. But the main thing is to bring a project or to bring a context or discussions of what will be provided by way of assistance and contribution by the alumnus, that thing that will be of very much useful. People will benefit not only within the host community, the backward integration of what that project will bring out will be not only with Kaduna State or the others, but the entire nation will benefit from it. And that is why they chose a concept of what we mean on the medical direction. But anyway, I may not want to go into it because the professional angles of it. But on today, the university are making a presentation, expert are bringing a presentations of that project, and it will be very vibrant if achieved.
Is it open for the world to contribute to?
Certainly open, very much open, very much open. And that is what we are trying to do, and that all the experts that they are going to make a presentations are already in Abuja and ready to discuss and to showcase and to unveil it for the alumnus to see what they can do.
Okay, being a dinner and award night, who had a set of persons you think deem it necessary to be honored on this particular day? Because if you look at the history of ABU, we had Atiku Abubakar, who was the former vice president. We had late Umar Musa Yar'Adua. So many prestigious people who are alumnus of this association. So how many do you have in mind?
Yeah, we have already arranged what will happen, and people will come there and see them. But one thing we kept on assuring that we try to make the award to have justifiable in terms of merit and credibility. And whoever we have shortlisted already and we are still arranging, we have notified them. These are people that will still show today, and we showcase them for the world to see. They will know that yes, the right choice has been done. I understand if you to give an assignment for you to say you are choosing the best to award in Ahmadu Bello University, prestigious university like this, is not an easy task.
I can imagine the pressure.
The pressure on it, and but however, we try to do what we can do and get other people. But since we are on board and the programs are so continuously, we begin to bring more again. But the ones that we are bringing, they are people that have at least impacted so much, some even beyond Nigeria as a country, Africa and entire world, and they are well-known figures. And these are the ones that, and what I'm so much happy about it, and when we even identify them and we look at it and we invite them, they were so amazed and happy for we remembering them and those. And you know, ABU has a situations of likeness by the alumni. Let me give you an instance. When I prepare for this very event, certainly there must be some principal officers. And I said, okay, the chairman of the occasion, we decided to have architect Namadi Sambo, who we said, okay, in our national executive committee meeting, that let him be. Now, I tried to reach him on phone. I called, I said, Excellency, sir, we have alumni gala dinner and award night in Abuja. He said, yes. And I said, I want you to be the chairman of the occasion. He said, my president, as far as Ahmadu Bello University area is concerned, there is nothing they will ask me to do for the progress of it and the university, I benefited so much from what I am today that I wouldn't accept. I have accepted it joyfully. I said, okay, before I even write and sign the appointment letter given to him as the chairman of today's occasion, he has already replied me 4 to 5 paragraphs of joyfully accepting that he is the chairman of the occasion and signed the letter himself. So the royal father of the day, I talked with the chancellor of the university, Igwe Dr. Nnemeka Alfred Ugochukwu, the Agbogidigi of Onitsha. I said, sir, you should be the royal father of the day. He looked at it, he said, yes, certainly, my president, I will be. In fact, yesterday, he was the one that called me in the morning that he was on his way from Abuja, from Anambra to Abuja. And by night we spoke, he is around, and today in the morning we have spoken that he is equally around, ready to participate, ready to come in. So also the Speaker of the House of Representatives, in fact, as I was coming here, they get more confirmation that they were around, and these are all because of Ahmadu Bello University, who is their alma mater. So you can see the level and the categories that we are talking about, and we have getting so many calls coming in within and outside the country that they are coming in to participate. Even among those that they are not even the awardees, they are coming to add color to the events, and they are ready to participate and contribute to whatever we are going to showcase today.
The ABU alumni, the Abuja branch, I get to understand that they have over 10,000 alumnus in Abuja here. And one key aspect, if you are using the Sheraton today for that particular event, invariably in the future, we should be looking at Eagle Square for events like this. But moving forward, one of the key issues when it comes to the issue of alumni association is that when you're having events like this, it comes with its own challenges. Are there any major challenges you face so far?
Yeah, certainly, of course. You know, when we look at the situations of time, that when you are inviting people to come from far and near, with the situations of what we are talking about, I understand it's a global trend, of course, and certainly what is being affected in this direction or this very place is equally the same, if not even worse in some other aspect of it. So it has not been as it used to be before. So there are a lot of challenges of it, and so many other situations come up. Attendance will find it difficult, and two, again, there are some other situations of challenges of even trying to form or organize the way you think should happen. So there are such situations of challenges like that. So coming, the way you can leave a place and start coming from Kaduna to Zaria, or somebody coming from Lagos, it not as it used to be before. So there are some hindrances here and there. But however, at the end of the day, as we speak today, joyfully I'm happy that it has little or nothing to do with the effects of what we are going to see tonight.
But then there are still questions with regarding to how you get your alumni base, and then with respect to looking at the admission quota and the rest. You play a major role in all this. How do you see that? Does that cosmopolitanism that they used to have, the university used to have a very widespread of candidates across the 36 states, including the FCT, is it still there?
Yes, I think one thing I can vouch, which is very clear, and even all the authorities confirm this, ABU is one, if not the only university, when they are preparing any admission for a particular session, they put on the table all the 774 local governments. They must make sure that a candidate is picked from that very local government. So there is no way an admission exercise will be over, no matter how. And ABU is very clear, used to have highest number of applicants by JAM and by whatever form of entries. But they make sure that there is that complete reflection like when I applied for ABU in my days, I didn't, and ABU is one of the universities I may not need to even go and start lobbying. And you just apply, the moment you are qualified, they will look at it and you see your name coming up. So that is how it is, and that is what even some of us benefited with also our names in the newspaper. And that credibility is still happening in the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria till today. So you can see the connectivity, the coming together, and that the catchment area is not something that is reflecting in a way that you can find a using place to say they are one-sided loaded in terms of admission, not in ABU.
So invariably, are still advising parents to take their words to
Yes.
Ahmadu Bello University.
Yeah, Ahmadu Bello University is one of the universities that people should need to go, because I know if you walk into any other place today, you will see a lot of, and don't forget that we even have so many records, as you started saying, we are the first university to produce a graduate as president and chief executive, president and commander-in-chief of Nigeria. That is late Umar Musa Yar'Adua. He's the product of ABU, BSc Chemistry.
That's a very good one. That's a very good notation. And looking forward to major issues now, looking at how the university is transforming from the physical or the hybrid kind of situation to more of online. We've seen so many programs on their distance learning platform. How do you feel seeing that you still have alumni base and that's of distance learning platform?
Yeah, I think the program is excellently happening in Nigeria, particularly the ABU, and I understand and I see the enrollment and the credibility of that program is something wonderful that till today is being recognized as one of the best. And that is why wherever ABU is running a program, you see the quality of it is they are exhibiting the same thing that what is some of the characteristics of what is happening, even as if we are in the main campus of any of them, and that is how it is. So with this now, it has been helping in terms of shaping and giving opportunities to add more educational values, particularly from the civil service and whatever that they with the cost effective in terms of logistics moving far away. It is brought to your doorstep now, and you can enjoy it and you can have it.
Are you getting them into your database?
Yes, certainly, because I remember when we had the last AGA, we sat down with the university and they are creating there is a kind of a concept that the university are trying to adopt on how to get the database of all the graduates that even as far back as the first graduates till today, and they are developing it into an online type of reaching out. So it is still at a particular stage, and they have started. So we are moving up with it, and we agree. We come together and see how we can make it more elaborate and to make it well known in terms of capturing people's data, and to ensure that yes, alumnus are equally, wherever you are, your type of profession, whatever you are doing will be captured based on the automated aspect of the arrangement. So I think it's one of the best that the university have thinking over, and it's a concept that is moving on.
Okay, do you really think the university, it is high time for the university to fully move into more of postgraduate studies and reducing the number of undergraduate students?
Well, I think you know, that one has to do with the policies of education by government. Yeah. And if you look at a certain stage, like when I know in years back in the teaching profession, grade 2 teacher certificate is one of the certificate that is being needed. After some time, a movement and they say no, NCE should be. And now I think at a particular period you have to get B.Ed in whatever. And before you can be employed as a graduate assistant with first degree, but now you have to get a master's at least to move on. So I think the phase we are moving on is based on development and what we are thinking ahead. So we are moving gradually, and most of those things will be phased out. That's why you see students now, in those days, to get the first degree, that is what we are happy about. But a good number, a certain percentage, as soon as they finish their first degree, they enroll immediately for masters. And some they count it, if they can not be out of the NYC years, then they can. So that is it. So a good number now tends to move ahead of time.
So So what are the events that will likely take up to this program?
Well, we are here to at least let the people understand that we have the alumni gala and award night, and that we perfectly arrange it, and that we want the entire world to come and look at it, to see it. Those around that we invited should come in, and we have eminent Nigerians within and outside that they are coming to participate and to add colors to the event itself. And just like what I mentioned, a caliber of a former vice president to chair an occasion, the current speaker of the House of Representatives to be the special guest of honor, and we have a first class traditional ruler of level of Venezuela is there, seated live and direct. And if you look at the people we are inviting, and these are people that know Nigeria, and these are people that at least they will speak, and we want people to come and see exactly what they can tell us. And not only in terms of alumni association matters, we are not restricting it only on ABU. Other universities can equally come and have it and see what they can tap from here, because we are ready and we have so much to showcase and for people to get it right, and that is what we are here for.
You mentioned other universities. My friends in Bayero University, Kano, will be say probably maybe I train a jibe at them. You know, you always
you know, one thing all universities are good enough, excellently.
Yes.
And one thing I always wish to crack jokes with someone. If I meet somebody who didn't attend ABU, I say, he say, no, I didn't attend ABU. No, I didn't. I say, well, if you didn't attend ABU, I'm sure you must have been taught by somebody who attended ABU. You say, okay, yes, I agree with you on that aspect. So ABU is a university that, in fact, at every place you mentioned, if you know how it is until when you are out of the country and you talk about ABU, and that is how you will see people at the international level, they say, yes, this is it.
I remember at some point almost half of the governments in Nigeria were actually
exactly. And even today we have about 9 ministers that we are going to that they will participate in today's event, and a lot of senators are there, members of the House of Reps, so many of them, captains of industries, head of MDAs, permanent secretaries, we have them. So I remember when I had the last AGA, those that got appointments and the House of Deliver, I think from my 1 year in office to that arrangement, I presented over 198, ranging from governors, ministers, senators, permanent secretaries, and the rest of them. And they are so proud when we write and sign congratulatory letters to them, and they are so happy about it.
Discussing maybe is always an encyclopedic process, but then we've almost come to the end of the program. But I want you to just give me a head on what are your vision and aspiration for the ABU alumni before we call it.
Yeah, I think my own vision is that I'm happy the university have a project or a concept of what they bring. We call it endowment fund. These endowment funds are funds or resources, a kind of where even most of the universities relied on, particularly not depending so much on government, because government have so much they have carried along. So when I came in and I saw this is what they have in plan, and it's very interesting thing. I now look at my National Executive Council Committee. I say, look, we have to project this and see exactly how we can promote it. And they say charity begins at home. I ensure that my National Executive Committee, we had 100% contributions from each and every one of us. And we have taken the sensitization, mobilizations to all the 38 branches we have, including FCT and Zaire City and International. And based on the actual response coming in the contributions to that endowment fund, from the time we started mentioning and sensitizing it, it has been a wonderful situation, and the university are impressed.
So and we appreciate telling the alumni community thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. And we are working together, and we need to do so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Adamu Maman Kutambura here with us in the studio of Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, ASU Radio. and television discussing issues regarding the ABU dinner and alumni ABU dinner and award night that will be taking place later in the day. And definitely there are so many Nigerians of high prestige that will be there to further join the alumni association to see that yes, they can be able to move the university forward with a major project which they will be unveiling today in Sheraton at 7 p.m. That was the time for the event. My name is Isanu. This is how far we can go today on the program discussing ABU Alumni Association issues. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.